Welcome back, Heartland family. You're watching your home for all things Heartland, where we celebrate the love, the loss, and the legacy of the Fleming Borden journey. Whether you've been with us since Season 1 or just discovered the magic of Heartland, you're in the right place. Here, we break down the episodes that moved us, explore fan theories that make us dream, and relive the moments that shaped our favorite characters. So, if you live and breathe Heartland like I do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and tap that notification bell so you never miss a single update from the ranch. Now, take a deep breath, because today's video is more than just an episode recap. It's an emotional homecoming. After seasons of heartache, growth, and wondering what could have been, Ty Borden returns in Season 19, Episode 1, a moment we thought we'd never see again. His return isn't just a plot twist. It's a powerful wave of love, healing, and unresolved memories crashing back into the lives of Amy, Lindy, and everyone who loved him. Get ready, because this is going to be one of the most emotional Heartland journeys we've ever taken. This episode isn't just about shock. It's about reconnection, redemption, and rekindling lost hope. We'll walk through every powerful step. Amy's emotional reaction, Lindy's innocent recognition, Jack's wisdom, Lou's conflict, George's strength, Tim's tough but tender heart, and finally, that tear-jerking private conversation between Ty and Amy. So grab a warm drink, find a cozy seat, and let's step into one of Heartland's most unforgettable episodes together. Before we explore Ty's return, we have to go back to the very moment he left us. Ty Borden wasn't just a central character, he was the emotional heartbeat of Heartland. From a troubled teen placed on the ranch as part of his probation, to becoming a devoted partner to Amy, a father to Lindy, and a compassionate healer of animals, Ty's arc was a journey of growth, love, and redemption. His sudden death in Season 14 came as a shock after being shot while protecting Amy, and later dying from a blood clot. The world of Heartland, both on screen and off, was shaken to its core. Amy's devastation was shared by every fan. The barn felt emptier. The air was quieter. Even the horses seemed more solemn. Amy struggled, but she didn't give up. She found strength in Lindy, leaned on Jack's wisdom, and rebuilt her identity piece by piece. But even as she moved forward, the loss of Ty cast a shadow on everything. His memory was in every fence post, every trail ride, every whisper of the wind across the fields. And yet fans never stopped hoping. Could there still be a miracle? Could Ty ever come back? Heartland's writers didn't just bring Ty back out of nowhere. They planted subtle seeds throughout season. 18 gentle nods whispered to the audience that Ty's story might not be finished. There were moments when Amy would wake from dreams, her face wet with tears, murmuring Ty's name. Lindy, in her innocence, would say things like, "I saw Daddy in the clouds," or "I heard him in the barn." Jack would sometimes pause mid-sentence when talking about Ty, as if he sensed something deeper. These weren't just memories, they were clues. Soft, emotional brushstrokes painting the backdrop for a return that would feel both magical and grounded. Season 19 opens with a quiet stillness. The sky is soft blue, and the breeze carries a familiar weight. Amy is in the barn, brushing Spartan, her heart clearly heavy but calm. Lindy runs through the field, chasing butterflies. The moment is peaceful. Then the camera pans toward the trees. A shadow emerges. A man steps forward, slower with age, but unmistakably Ty Borden. The air changes. The light shifts. And just like that, Ty is home. When Amy sees him, truly sees him. She doesn't believe it at first. Her breath catches in her throat. Her hands go still on Spartan's coat. Spartan's mane. The brush falls to the floor. Her eyes widen in disbelief, and she stumbles backward, whispering, "No, it can't be." Ty takes one cautious step forward and simply says, "Amy." His voice is familiar yet distant, like a melody she hadn't heard in years but never forgot. She walks toward him, trembling, eyes searching for proof that this isn't a dream. Then, with a voice quivering with love and pain, she asks, "Ty, are you real?" Ty reaches out, gently touching her cheek, and nods. In that moment, the years of grief, the nights of crying, the dreams of what could have been, all of it crashes over her like a wave. She breaks down in his arms, sobbing into his shoulder. He holds her like he never let go, and for a brief moment, time stops. Later, as they sit together, Amy asks how any of this is possible. Ty reveals a heart-wrenching truth. He did survive, but he was injured, disoriented, and taken in by someone far away who helped him recover. He had no memory of his past for years. Only recently did it begin to return. "I knew I had to find my way home," he tells her. Amy's tears turn from sorrow to relief. She isn't dreaming he is here, and he came back to her. The most touching moment comes when Lindy walks into the barn, her tiny boots tapping softly on the floor. She sees a man kneeling by Spartan and tilts her head. "Mommy, who is that?" Amy, still trembling from the emotional weight of the moment but holding herself with quiet grace, kneels beside her daughter. Her voice is soft, almost trembling, as she says, "That's your daddy." Lindy's wide eyes blink slowly. Her tiny hands clutch her worn-out stuffed horse, the one she's never slept without. She looks at the man standing just feet away, curious, cautious, but not afraid. There's something familiar in his presence, something her heart remembers even if her mind doesn't. Ty, standing there with eyes clouded by emotion, seems caught between disbelief and awe. His voice cracks, but he manages a gentle, "Hi, Lindy. I'm your dad." Lindy doesn't respond right away. She studies him with quiet intensity, tilting her head slightly like she's comparing him to someone from a distant memory. Then, in a moment that shatters every heart watching, she steps forward and places her tiny hand into his. "You look like the man in the picture next to my bed," she says with a soft, innocent smile. "I dream about you sometimes." Ty's composure breaks, and tears spill down his cheeks. He kneels and gathers her in his arms, desperate, overwhelmed, clinging to the daughter he never thought he'd hold. Lindy wraps her arms around his neck, like she's known him forever. Just as he starts to pull away, she whispers, "You smell like horses." Laughter bubbles up through the tears from everyone around them, and in that moment so tender, so pure, it feels like the ranch and the family are finally whole again. Nearby, Jack Bartlett stands in stunned silence, the stoic heart of Heartland. Jack has seen life deliver both miracles and heartbreak, but this is something else entirely. He doesn't rush in. He simply watches, his weathered face lined with emotion. He'd prayed for this for a miracle, but never let himself believe it might actually come. When he finally approaches Ty later in the barn, surrounded by the quiet echoes of memories, he sits beside him without a word. The silence says more than any speech could. And then, with his deep voice edged in gravel and love, Jack says, "Life doesn't hand out second chances too often, son, but when it does, you hold on to them with everything you've got." It's not just wisdom, it's Jack's way of saying, "Welcome home." The love in his eyes, forged through decades of loss and resilience, reminds us all why Heartland is more than just a place, it's a feeling, a promise. Georgie, once the rebellious girl Ty helped guide, now stands at the edge of the yard, frozen. Her eyes lock onto his, disbelief etched across her face. For a moment, she doesn't move. The grief she buried so deeply rushes back, tangled with joy and confusion. "Is it really you?" she finally whispers, her voice cracking. When Ty nods, Georgie runs to him, not like a child, but like someone reclaiming a lost part of herself. She throws her arms around him with fierce love, the kind only grief can teach. Later, she reflects quietly, realizing that his return isn't just about the past. It's about clarity, growth, and forgiveness. She supports Amy in silence, her presence steady and strong, knowing that healing isn't loud, it's patient. Lou, always the fixer, the planner, finds herself unsteady. Seeing Ty again shakes the very foundation she built to protect her sister and niece. Her practical mind races. How is this possible? What does it mean? But her heart overtakes her logic, and tears spill freely as she steps toward him, her voice trembling. "We thought we lost you forever." Her walls crumble, and in their place rises a fragile hope that maybe, just maybe, this return can stitch their family back together in a new way. In a quiet moment with Peter later, she admits what she's afraid to say aloud. "I'm scared, but I want to believe this is real." Tim, rough-edged and guarded, reacts as expected with fire. He lashes out, anger masking fear. "Do you have any idea what you put this family through?" he demands, voice sharp, fists clenched. But beneath the fury is a man shattered by loss, a father figure who loved Ty deeply and never got to say goodbye. Later, alone in a field where they once rode side by side, Tim's armor finally breaks. The tears he's held back for years fall freely. "I wasn't enough. I couldn't protect them." Ty places a steady hand on his shoulder and replies, "You didn't fail, Tim. You kept them safe. You gave them strength." It's a moment of quiet redemption, two men, flawed and weathered, sharing a bond forged by pain, loss, and an unspoken love for the same people. And through it all, Heartland itself feels changed, more whole, more alive. Ty's return isn't just a plot twist. It's a reckoning, a resurrection, a moment where grief, love, and healing collide in the most powerful way. This episode reminds us why we keep coming back to Heartland, because it shows us that even the deepest wounds can mend, and that family, no matter how broken, can always find its way home. The most emotional moment of all unfolds when Tay and Amy finally sit down together, just the two of them, away from the noise, the questions, the tears. They walk into the old cabin by the lake, the same place they once shared hopes for the future. The silence is thick with everything left unsaid. Amy stares at Ty, her heart aching with 1,000 feelings. "I thought I'd never see you again," she says, her voice breaking. Ty reaches for her hand, and for a long moment, they just sit in silence, tears streaming freely. Then Ty begins to explain his disappearance, the danger he was in, the choice he made to stay away for their safety. Amy listens, torn between anger and love, disbelief and longing. "You should have trusted me," she says, her voice trembling. "We were a team." Ty nods, shame in his eyes. "I know, and I never stopped loving you. Not for 1 second. I thought I was doing the right thing." There's pain in his voice, but also deep love. As the conversation unfolds, they begin to open their hearts again, slowly, carefully, like two people learning how to breathe again. Amy tells him about Lindy's first words, her milestones, her fears. Ty listens, aching for lost time. But then Amy softly says, "She deserves to know you. We both do." And Ty, his eyes full of tears, promises, "I'll spend the rest of my life making it right, if you'll let me." It's a moment of raw vulnerability, one filled with hurt, but also with the undeniable spark of love that still binds them. A possible future glimmers on the horizon, imperfect but real, and deeply human. And there you have it, Heartland fans. Ty Borden's return in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 wasn't just shocking, it was beautifully human. It was about pain, healing, forgiveness, and love. Amy's tears, Lindy's smile, Jack's quiet wisdom, Lou's forgiveness, George's strength, Tim's hidden heart, every moment woven together into a story that reminded us why we fell in love with Heartland in the first place and why we keep coming back. But now I want to hear from you. Did Tay's return touch your heart the way it did mine? Can he and Amy truly find their way back to each other? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, and your words truly matter. If this story moved you, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. It helps more than you know and keeps our little Heartland family growing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for feeling this story with me. Until next time, stay kind, stay strong, and always believe in second chances and the magic of Heartland.